Hey everybody, we got a new poll out here in the Ohio Senate race. I just recently did a video on this, but there's new information, so let's get right into it. Here's the Wikipedia page. We're not going to go through this whole thing again. We're going to switch right over to the poll. It's from East Carolina University, and it was done with 805 registered voters. So what are we looking at? We're looking at Sherrod Brown. He is narrowly leading 3 potential Republican challengers. This poll sampled Brown against Matt Dolan, Frank LaRose, and Bernie Moreno. So first up, Brown against Dolan. Brown is at 45%. Dolan is at 44. 4% some other candidates, 7% undecided. It's only a 1-point lead for Brown. How about down here Frank LaRose? Brown ticks down to 44, and Frank LaRose has 42. Another 4% some other candidate, and 11% undecided. And finally up against Bernie Moreno, Brown is at 46, Moreno is at 42. 2% some other candidate, again 11% undecided. So this is just one poll, very far off from the primary even, but these are not good numbers for Sherrod Brown. He's a well-known 3-time incumbent, and he's only polling in the mid-40s. And the 3 Republican challengers have a lower profile than Brown, and they're certainly within the margin of error, and only trailing by a couple of points. If you're Sherrod Brown, you at least want to be in the high 40s, and you want to see these Republican challengers down in the low 40s, hopefully opening up a 5 to 7 point lead. Because I would really only expect these numbers to get narrower once Election Day rolls around. And this far out, I would expect the incumbent to have an advantage. But there's really not much of an advantage here. So there's no question that Republicans are going to be bullish about this one poll. And then there's some breakdown of the subgroups. Sherrod Brown leads with voters that have a postgraduate degree, black voters, women, and Democrats. Brown also leads 48 to 36 with self-identified independents. And then on the other side, Matt Dolan leads with voters that have a high school education or less, white voters, men, and Republicans, 85 to 5. Now, as far as the Republican primary goes, there's not much beneficial information here. 58% are undecided. This says the Trump-backed Frank LaRose is leading Matt Dolan 17 to 14. Bernie Moreno is in third place at 7%. So there's a whole bunch of time where things are going to change. So usually I'm not going to put much weight on a poll this far out, and this isn't going to change that much. Another poll could come out and show Brown with an 8-point lead, but this particular poll is not a good sign for Sherrod Brown. And we always knew it was going to be close. It's certainly a red-leaning state at this point, but this is even closer than I expected. Now, they also polled about the Republican primary. Donald Trump is in first place at 59%. Ron DeSantis, he's all the way down at only 15%. Mike Pence is at 5%, Chris Christie 4%, Vivek Ramaswamy, that's also his home state, 3%, Nikki Haley at 2%, and Asa Hutchinson, he manages to get 1% in this poll. 10% undecided, 2% some other candidate. Most people tend to think Donald Trump is stronger in the Rust Belt than Ron DeSantis. This poll definitely backs that up, and it also shows Joe Biden, his approval rating, 42%, 53% disapprove. That's bad for Joe, but at least he's clearing 40%. So that's this poll from East Carolina University. Now, if you want to judge this pollster's reputation, we can get on 538, and we can take a look at their track record. Now, there's 3 polls from 2022. Georgia governor, they were only off by half a point. That's great. Georgia Senate, they were only off by 1 point. And in the North Carolina Senate, they slightly overestimated Ted Budd. So those 3 polls slanted a little bit toward the right. They're polls from back in 2020, though. These were all underestimating the Republicans. Look at that North Carolina governor's election. They had Roy Cooper at 11. He only won by 4.5. That's a 6.5 point error in favor of the Democrat. They had Cal Cunningham winning by 1.5. Tom Tillis actually won by 1.7. They had Biden winning North Carolina by 2.7. Trump won it by 1.4. And it goes on and on from there. These polls, all from 2020, were all biased toward the Democrats. So it's hit or miss with certain pollsters, with certain elections. Just because they were off in one election, or they were spot on in one election, doesn't necessarily mean you could trust them. Things can change. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you have a bad night. But overall, that's a little bit more of a look into this new poll for Ohio. Looks like Sherrod Brown, he's going to have some work to do if he's going to actually hold on to that seat. The field in the Republican primary is wide open, and Donald Trump looks like he is going to coast to victory in the presidential primary. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about the new information in this poll? Does this tell you anything you didn't already know? Do you trust the data? Do you not trust it? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.